8.6. Councillor Danaka, do you want to start us off on this one? Councillor Danaka?
She's reading.
We're back in motion, and we are at 8.6, which is the item that you added.
Yes. It's somewhat timely because our next council meeting is not until the 28th, I believe. The week of May 19th to the 25th is National Public Works Week. I think we should proclaim that week. And the public works people are the somewhat unsung heroes of the town that keep it operational, making sure the water flows, the sewer runs, the gas runs, they clean the roads, mow the lawns. They're the ones that are out at -40 repairing water main breaks. So if we can, I would like to proclaim May 19th to 25th Public Works Week.
Is that a motion then?
Yes.
Okay, any questions? Completely agree that they are the unsung heroes, and I know that, was it a water main break, something, and it was all fixed, and so we're good to go now. So thank you, Public Works, very approved. Any questions? Okay, seeing none. Question regarding the motion that Councillor Danaka made. All in favor? Right, carried. Moving on to reports. Who wants to move our CM report here? Councillor Shishu.
The council receives the AO Bill McKinnon's report and action list for information.
Through the chair, I'd like to update council on the triangle water studies. So myself and Vern, Superintendent of Public Works, attended the meeting on April 30th. It was hosted by Smoky River, participation from the county and other affected municipalities. Basically a high-level overview of what the consultants have done to date, which is basically look at plant capacities and where they are. So obviously our plant has lots of capacity. The issue is water supply. So they're looking at other options that will inform councils better until that sort of costing information is done, and potential other supply sources. It's basically an update meeting we had. So there will be a report eventually coming back to council with some more meat to it, so to speak. But at the end of the day, the plant's been identified. It does have additional production capacity. The issue is supply of water, of course. So the consultants will be further looking at other supply mechanisms for that, our water treatment plant, which would expand the supply intake for that plant. So i.e. right now, reliance is on East Prairie River. There are other potential water sources that the partners may wish to evaluate. So that's where it stands, but as things progress, there will be progress reports coming back to council. But to date, there's been no costing and any of that done, so that's what's happening. The only other item which I left off of the report is there was an email, so the town staff will be putting together a float for the rodeo. So there's a little subcommittee of staff that have taken on that initiative. For the last number of years, the town has not had a float in the rodeo. So that's a positive note. And as usual, the town will be planning for Seniors Week to host the Seniors Barbecue on June 7th. Friday.
June 7th? Do we have a time?
It would be the normal 11:30 to 1. So we'll be confirming with FCS because they're waiting to get their brochures out for Seniors Week. So traditionally, the town's hosted on the Friday. So.
Questions for our CEO on his report? Okay, I have, oh, go ahead, Councilor.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Nope, I'm putting this in.
Okay, that's all. Sometime back, we talked about a town county meeting, sort of informal with councils. Has any movement been made on that?
That was discussed at the last two ICF meetings, so there's general agreement that that should happen. You know, just some feedback, and perhaps we can get it tonight, if it's, you know, whether it's more of a social thing or whether it's a more formal thing. I would leave it at that. So is there interest to do a formal thing just to get the ball rolling, and then perhaps later having a more formalized meeting on common interest between the two municipalities that are outside of the ICF agreement?
Are we talking Swan Hills? And wouldn't you about that someplace?
No, the items outside of.
Oh, okay. No, it's our turn to buy. It's our turn to treat them. And last time was sort of informal. There was no agenda. We just met informally, and I thought we were going to do that at least once or twice a year.
So I'll discuss that with the CEO and we'll post something and invite them over.
Second, sorry, John, were you right there?
No, go ahead, I can wait.
Okay. The Growth Alberta, I know you've scheduled it for the end of the month. How's our uptake?
Still no response. I've sent out many emails and invitations and nobody has even responded with a yes or no. So I'm thinking this time we'll just go ahead with it. It'll be just our town council and a few from Big Lakes, and if anybody else shows up, they show up, but that's about it.
Okay, next I was going to ask about this food waste diversion. When we discuss it, or are we going to?
My recommendation to the council is I actually invited him to do this presentation because it is a good program, but it has to be dealt with in context with the overall waste management contract. So that is up for tender, and we'll be preparing that. We will include options if council wishes. So where I was going is when we have our next committee of the whole meeting, there'll be a more wholesome discussion on potential pros and cons of our existing service standards related to waste management, whether council has an appetite to consider green binning it or not, and or looking at programs such as this innovative program that has been sponsored through FCM for a number of years. And there are other opportunities that you may see at the FCM conference dealing with waste reduction strategies specifically targeted. Our definition of rural, that individual's definition of rural, are a bit different. Just like FCM's definition of a small community is under 100,000. So, you know, but it's something to consider. So I would suggest we hold it down to that next committee of the whole meeting, and there'll be a little options paper dealing with the existing service levels for waste management and where council may want to go, and then we can incorporate it into a blended package to test the market to provide whatever level of service council wants. And this is another option that may fit into that level of service discussion. So there has, you know, as the presenter indicated, there are some positive, very positive results coming from diversion from landfill if we can get the tonnage down significantly.
Thanks, Bill. You have a question, Councilor?
Well, Donna was first, right?
Right, she is,
So,
right,
yeah, so
okay.
I'll address it after.
Okay, so just from your action list here. The first one, meeting of council, June 13th, 2023, 176-23. Administration drafts an event road closure policy. It'll be coming on a year. Are we gonna soon?
Yes, as I indicated, we're hoping to have majority of these wrapped up. The last couple of weeks have been a bit hectic, and I was hoping to get most of them done for this week.
Okay,
So we have the base material.
okay,
There's been a change in the way I'm managing these. In the past, the CEO has responded to all these requests. The managers have been alerted that they have to respond to some of these requests. So that is a transition we're doing,
okay.
because,
You can't do it all.
right,
What's
So-
that all?
so the majority of these items will be coming off the list within the next month. I can commit to that.
Okay, so my next one was the one following that, the 3/18/23, because I know you had mentioned at a couple prior council meetings that a similar
Yeah.
resolution, so,
I have an email in with, and I'm discussing that with the staff at Alberta Municipalities to
Okay.
see if we're doing it or
somebody else is
someone
okay.
else is doing it.
Okay, so that's that. So I just have a couple other questions. I had emailed you about McSteel. And you said that you were working with MMSA to finalize that, because it's,
And provincial highways.
and provincial highways.
So it's really, as I indicated in the email, that portion of land is under direct control, so council can do whatever it wishes under direct control. However, because it's adjacent to the highway people can override anything council
Right.
wishes to do.
Right, okay,
So the basic issue there is whether they're gonna allow signage. So there's a couple issues, whether they're even gonna entertain it to begin with.
Yeah.
They are very strict on lighting and lighting of illumination of signs adjacent to highways. So that part is probably gonna not happen. I still have a meeting with McSteel, which will be happening, and say, really, what do you want? Because they haven't been clear what they want.
okay,
So they want a community sign, who's gonna manage it, who's gonna upfront the cost,
right,
all that
okay,
stuff. Another big issue is, that would be basically signage that would be able to read coming west in the town. Cars leaving town would not be able to read that signage given the lot.
okay, yeah, I get you.
Right, so that, like, that's an issue. And then what do we do for the balance of the town? So we do have some signs that are encroaching currently on municipal right of way. Alan has a significant number of issues and unhappy businesses in town when he says your sign's encroaching on town right of ways and it's causing traffic issues. I believe the signage at that particular corner will not be supported by transportation because it's on a curve, it's on a turn, it's gonna be problematic. So we're looking potentially at other options.
Okay. So, has anybody heard, has there been an update on, Shabana and her community garden?
So there was just direction by council. So we're looking at 3 potential sites and we should have that wrapped up very shortly. So the
Okay.
potential sites are J.C. Park. I don't know what it's referred to, but the parcel of land at Pleasant View, basically Bryan Street. There's a whole strip on the north side abutting the farmland. That's another potential site. The issue is there's no water. So every site has issues.
Right.
J.C. Park, there's also limited water supply in the locations that would be appropriate for gardens. So water is a big issue.
Okay,
So yes, we'll prepare that. What I would suggest is we'll have that ready by early next week. We'll email it out to councilors and we'll have the discussion with that individual. But but each of the sites has significant
Limitations, yeah, okay.
water being the biggest one.
Right, so where are we with the policing crime forum?
That's scheduled for the 29th, I believe it is.
Is that May 29th evening?
Yeah, I think council's, we.
No, I think
advised
it's the 31st, but I'll have to confirm. So I think it was a Friday, was it not? Or was it the
it. I don't think
Wednesday?
it would have been a Friday.
Okay, well,
We just
29th or
grab one of
30th.
the letters now.
And my last
For some reason, I
thing,
thought it was a Wednesday night.
my last, question was, the sort of the council update page.
Yeah, that will be going on the website, so we have done the first,
Okay, because I looked and I didn't see
No.
anything.
so it was complete, Bailey has completed it, so.
Okay, I had seen that she had showed me a little bit of it, what she was
So
working
it
on.
is completed and, it will be posted, so we'll have another, on the front page, there'll be council highlights.
Okay,
And there'll be a link to each of the meeting highlights.
okay, okay. What water leak were you referring to when you said, oh, it's repaired with Public Works?
So,
That was recent.
so if I could, one's been repaired, one hasn't been repaired. One, so there was a leak on basically outside Brian's house. That's been restored. Now, there was a leak on the west side of the river, which hasn't been complete. We've restored water supply, but we still have not located the leak. But it's been, there's no water leaking, but, so it's been contained, but we still haven't done 100% repair. So we're evaluating options to do full restoration, whether it makes more sense to drill another pipe across the river or spend a week digging up the site to find the leak, because we can't find it. But the service has been restored.
Did we lose water?
Well, for the first 8 hours, yeah, we lost water,
Okay,
but not significant amounts because it was isolated fairly quickly.
okay.
So May 29th, 6 p.m., Buchanan Center, Performing Arts Center.
While you're looking at your calendar, what is that? A Wednesday or a Thursday?
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, it
That's
was,
a good day.
it was a Wednesday, yeah.
What time did you say, sorry?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.?
This is one we didn't went to the cops and judge.
So the police have responded and, Citizens Patrol has responded, but others haven't responded as yet.
Okay.
So again, if there is no facilitator, so what, we advise the police we would like is just an update on crime statistics for the town, what other programs that they would be, are actively implementing, so, 5 or 10 minutes for each group that shows up. Alan will do, here's what the peace officers can do, here's what we can't do. So there's still lots of confusion on what authorities he has under this appointment by the Solicitor General, but the bottom line is, he has very limited responsibilities and then mainly focus on bylaw and on traffic. In terms of enforcement of the criminal code, he's just like an ordinary citizen now. So that,
Who all did we send the invites to for that police forum? Like you said, the police is gonna be there, Alan,
the invites have been gone to
Citizens on Patrol,
Scott Sinclair,
Scott Sinclair,
the Arnold
Pearson.
Pearson, the Minister of, I can't remember his title now.
Mental
Mental
health
health
and
and,
addictions.
So the Minister of Mental Health has a component dealing with mental health as it relates to crime, so he's also been, him or a representative of
Right,
his ministry have been invited.
okay, all right. So there will be microphones there will be,
There'll be round tables, and then the groups that we talked to the police today and said, this is, if you could do this, this would be great. So it will be sort of like our staff forums, billboards around with information,
okay,
and then maybe the police present their billboards. Alan talks a bit about an overview of his roles and responsibilities under the act. Others may provide information, and then group discussion on.
okay. Can we have, like a flip chart board there for people?
For notes and stuff like that, yes.
For suggestions, et cetera, okay, cool, all right.
So to follow up on that, Councillor Tanaka, how has this been advertised to the public?
That's if the admin hasn't, so we need to do that.
Next week's paper, for sure.
So we'll be doing, well, first we'll do the web and Facebook to get it out. The paper, it has to wait for next week.
Yeah, but I think we'd have to get it to the paper tomorrow, to have it in next week's paper.
Yeah.
So, once we bought it in.
Okay, anything further for our CAO? Anyone? No? So my last thing, excuse me. The Center for the Audit, how are we doing on that? Do we require time? Are we done? Are we close to being done?
We still have not received any word on waste management statements, so last year I checked and we got those June 22nd.
Yeah.
Thereabouts. In terms of the town's portion, the auditors were on site last Thursday and Friday. A couple little things we gotta get to them by this Friday, but for all intents and purposes, we're done. And within budget.
Councillor Stemples?
So, Bill, was the town assessor out already?
He's up here occasionally. Maybe you can be a bit more specific.
Every year I receive a door knocker on my doorknob to say that the assessor was here.
Yeah, he does random sampling, so you may not see him this year. He may be another area of town that he does.
Okay, so has he been to Hudbury already, or
Yes,
he's coming?
Yeah, he's updated the role and he's been here a couple times, right?
Okay.
And, you know, I can give
You know what I'm talking about, the tax assessor.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So generally for residential, unless you've pulled a building permit or a development permit, he's not gonna come to your door. He's just gonna use mass assessment information. And not, you know, he does X number of spot checks, but he doesn't do 100% of the town. It's driven by other data.
Okay, seeing no other questions or discussion items, I will call the question. We have a motion to receive our CAO's report for information. All in favor? Very good, carried. Moving on to correspondence in 14.1, we've got, the same flyer from our presenters there. Are we going to receive this in total or just each one?
You can do what I suggest as individual case council wishes to make a motion on it.
So the first one, anyone want to make a motion to receive?
Move that we accept it for information,
The
the food thing.
was that your hand up, Councillor Tanaka? Did you put your hand up?
To receive for information.
Yeah, okay, all in favor then? Very good. The Rail Advocacy Alliance, who wants to make that motion?
Just tell somebody to make the motion.
All right, very good, Councillor Shishin. All in favor? Good, carried. the letter from the Alberta College of Family Physicians. Thank you for that motion, Councillor Stenhouse. Any questions or discussion? Great, seeing none, all in favor? Very good, carried. This is that letter from Alberta municipalities that we had coming in. Statute Amendment Act. Okay. You're not making that motion then. Who's making that motion? Councillor Tanaka.
I make a motion that to direct administration to send a letter using the template attached regarding that the government of Alberta rescind Bill 20.
Yeah.
So any questions, discussion from anyone? I thought this was just for the bigger, it was a pilot project, like really a pilot in like a bigger city.
That's just for political parties in Edmonton and Calgary.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
this is.
the whole Bill 20 basically says that the government can come in and overrule any municipality for their land use bylaws.
They can do whatever they want.
Basically, yes.
And it's not even a debate in the legislature, from what I understand. It's just cabinet. It's insane overreach.
It is. And the thing is that the way this whole Bill 20 is, like, they don't see municipal governments as a legitimate form of government.
Yeah.
That are duly elected by the people. Like, and they're viewing municipalities as a wing of the provincial government, which we're not. Like, I mean, I really think we need to send a letter stating that this needs to be rescinded because it's craziness what they want to do.
Nobody asked for this.
Nobody, the consultations that they've had, and so they say they have, all of the Alberta munis said no, they don't want this. I mean, there's some key parts in here that are okay, but this whole idea that they can come in and remove councillors just because, however, they don't like how they vote or whatever. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's like it's just huge overreach. So I would like to send a letter to, like, Danielle Smith, Rick McIver,
Sinclair
Scott Sinclair,
and the NDP Municipal Affairs Critic, and whoever their leader is going to be as well.
yeah, just to say, like, we are not in favor of this at all.
Bill, what is the scope of mandatory council training? What is that?
Depends how snarky you want me to be. So right now, there is no requirement for new council members to but not to the level and not to the detail that they're recommending. So it is recommended that you do it, but it's not mandatory that you do it. Right? Legally, it wasn't mandatory. So they're basically saying it will be mandatory. Even potential candidates running for election would have to attend mandatory training before they became a council member. So items like that. So they're very, as everyone's alluding to, or at least Councilor Janak is alluding to, they're being very descriptive and prescriptive of what must be undertaken.
But you know what? That's one thing I like.
Like I said, there's some good things in there, but
There's too much nonsense wrapped
some
up
of
around it.
some of it is
Right.
completely, as far as I'm concerned, it's complete overreach.
I hear something, but I'm not sure.
Is it raining?
I don't know, I think it's right. Okay,
Anyway, questions or discussion? Councilor Tobacco, you complete your question?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
I support Bill 20.
Did you make a motion, Councilor Tobacco?
To send a letter, yes.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, then I will call the question for the motion on the floor to send a letter to our, the people.
Premier Rick McIver, our MLA, NDP critic Arnold Pearson,
Everybody.
Okay, let's vote. We can flip through pages.
Very good. All in favor?
Amanda.
Okay, all opposed? That motion is carried. Administration will be sending a letter, correct? Good. Next. Okay, we have, another Alberta Municipalities memo. The second one here. Was it this issue 1.5? Okay, what about this other one?
Well, that's the added, sorry, that's the added item is basically,
1.5. This one was the-
so this is again, if I could just recap it, the Premier at the last two speaking engagements at our and that the municipalities floated out some numbers about funding the provincial government was providing municipalities. It was sort of maybe a misstatement on her behalf. So the big one is the federal gas tax flows through the province. The province is implying that that's money they're providing municipalities. No, it's money flowing through from the federal government. So what it was that issue was the total money being provided to municipalities was given by the Premier at $3.6 billion. There are a couple items that Alberta municipalities is saying, well, you shouldn't be taking credit for this. This isn't your money. It's third parties' monies that are flowing through. So if you're improving highways that run through a municipality, the municipality isn't, they're getting a benefit, but they're not getting the money to undertake projects at the municipal level. So please restate your numbers. So that's what that's about.
Okay, thank you. Who's making the motion to receive number 5? We have that.
I'll do it.
Okay, great. Council Wakefield.
Move that we seek information.
Okay, all in favor? All right, number 6 is the letter before us from the public delegation. Any questions? Okay, all in favor? Oh, do we have a motion? No, we
No,
didn't.
we haven't.
Someone's got to make a motion, please, to,
I did.
very good, Council Wakefield, all in favor? Great, thank you.
Move things along.
Okay.
To sign the letter provided.
A letter of support.
Yeah, sign the letter of support provided.
By tomorrow.
Brian gonna be here to sign that? You can sign it on his behalf, probably, but you've got a motion to council.
Let's see if we can sign it too.
yes, the American Sign.
Yeah. Deputy Mayor. That's your spot when he's not around. Okay, next, council report.
Okay, well, great, moving on to council reports then. Councilor Janaco, let's.
Before I give my report, there's a couple of people, and of course nobody's here anymore, but there's a couple of people that I would like to shout out to. One is a young 13-year-old fellow, Aryan Kumar. He won the spelling bee in Calgary and now he is off to Toronto. I don't know when he's going, but I thought it would be really cool if we could gift him a hoodie that says High Prairie. I'm not sure what happens from Toronto if he wins. Maybe he gets to go to the Scripps. I have no idea, but I think that's really cool. The other really cool thing is Omar Mualim. And I don't know if anybody has seen his video documentary of the Lebanese burger mafia, the history of the Burger Baron. Anybody who's a foodie or follows anything culinary, his film has been nominated for a James Beard Award, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because James Beard is the culinary award for food-related documentaries. I don't know when the nominations are complete or whatever, but I just want to say that's really cool. So I will move on with my report. So the first thing I did was May 1st, I went to the MLA's opening of his office in Slave Lake. Had a very prolonged discussion about yak. Unfortunately, he's getting no information from the minister. Last he got was they're doing an inspection. My response to him was, how long does it take to do an inspection? It's been 9 months already. And basically my other point to Scott was the yak here serves the whole north. So basically what you're doing is you're taking marginalized at-risk youth and putting them more at risk by moving them out of their community, their support system, etc. And then I basically said, no wonder rural Alberta, northern Alberta feels ignored, because you just are moving things away from us that we've had. So it was a good discussion. Again, I invited him to attend a council meeting. They've been in session. They're done in May, so he's hoping to come up the area in June. Unfortunately, I asked him if he was going to have a constituency office in High Prairie. The answer is no. Good discussion. Intelligent gentleman, listened. I don't know where that's gonna go. On the 4th, I attended the powwow, another great event, like phenomenal. It gets better every year. I mean, I encourage anybody to attend it. It's such a great event. The other item I went to the Northern Alberta Foundation presentation. I handed to the CAO, they had the little cards. I don't know if you can even put that on because it's got a scan code on there or whatever. But anyway, a couple of their grant scholarships are open. The student portal opened April 15th to August 15th. The grants opened May 15th to September 30th. They did a bunch of presentations on how you can start your own fund and how they administer funds. Like they administer the Frank Loveson Fund through this foundation. The other thing I went to the AVID ribbon cutting ceremony, open house and barbecue. I attended the repertoire dance recital on the weekend, and I can see now why that group has won so many awards when they go to other competitions. Because holy crap on a cracker are those kids talented. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay for the whole thing because I had to go to work, but if anybody gets a chance next year just to go and take it in, I highly recommended. And the last thing was the museum. Darlene's working on, updating the bylaws that were sent to Alberta Registries. She attended the Canadian Museum Association Conference in Niagara Falls along with 100,000 other people because it was the weekend of the eclipse. It was cloudy, couldn't see anything, but you could see behind the clouds. It was like it got dark and the lights came on and the street lights came on and whatever. But so she attended some specific information sessions, emergency preparedness for museums, developing collection policies, et cetera, et cetera. She said it was very well worth it. Also, we went through the conservation policy that's required by the Alberta Museum Association. And other than that, I move my verbal report for information.
Very good. Questions for Councillor Tanaka? Okay, seeing none. All in favor? Great, carried. Councillor Yashishin, let's move to you.
I have no report. I didn't have any meeting, but I did attend the Alberta meetings on May 8th, their presentation on Bill 20.
And you're very much in favor. Go Bill 20. Okay, Councillor Waco.
Had a rec board meeting at the end of April there. Things were going well. The gun show was a rousing success. They managed to get all of the ice out in time. Gun show people, I guess, were pretty happy that happened as quick as it did. So shout out to the team that got that done. Everybody worked their bums off and made it happen. And had a library board meeting. Where they read to the kids there during the day there, the littles. That program is jammed full. It's amazing. The chess, they're going to give it a break over summer. The numbers have kind of dwindled a little bit. It's a little bit nicer outside, so they're going to shut that down for the summer, it sounds like. But overall, things at the library are going quite well. So, yeah, that's my report, and I'm back for information.
Thank you, Councillor Waco. I love our library. Congratulations, Tracy and team. Questions for Councillor Waco? Okay. His motion to move his report. All in favor? Great, carried. Councillor Stenhouse?
No report.
Okay. So for me, I also attended the Northwestern Alberta Foundation. That little card is only a micro grant for up to 1,520,000.
Yes.
You could buy little things. And I thought it was a great event. It was my first time there. I don't know how you heard about it. But
They came last year, was their first year, so invites were sent, and so they sent me another invite, so it came directly to me.
that's something I would love to have come to council, because, you know, they're doing a road tour in High Prairie. It was a very good thing. Luckily, there were 3 councillors there, so that was just by a good fortune. Yeah, I love them. I love the on-site 3D partnership. They do this event first Thursday of every month in Grand Prairie. It's a really, they even talked about how you and I could become a fund what? Owner? No, like starter fund. That was it.
Started fun because they referenced Sexsmith, because Sexsmith has their own community fund, I guess, for Sexsmith.
So something we could think of doing for fundraisers, or even suggest to some of our townspeople for sporting events and so forth. But anyway, I thought that was a great event. We had, this was the first time since I've been on the MMSA committee that we hosted in High Prairie. We were the hosts. Thank you to administration and the team for getting us our coffee and whatnot, lunch. watershed, I had, just recently, this was this past week, the watershed meeting, followed by Western Slave Lake Health Advisory Council. Now, per the mandate of the new AHS improvements, that council is being, it's open for election, so anyone interested is welcome to apply. I think it's to the end of the month. I also attended the Avid Energy grand opening. Thanks for a very delicious burger, Avid and team. What else do I have on here? Yep, that is my report. Any questions? I move it for information. No questions? All right, very good. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay. Do you want to break before confidential items, or are we ready to move right in? Okay, let's move to